In the fast-evolving world of artificial intelligence, there's one name that has steadily emerged from the shadows, challenging the dominance of ChatGPT, Claude. Built by Anthropic, a company founded by former OpenAI researchers, Claude is more than just another chatbot. It's a different vision of what AI can be. A competitor not only in performance, but in principle. While OpenAI captivated the world with ChatGPT, Anthropic quietly built something that feels different, and in some ways, more human. But what is Claude exactly? Why was it created? And how does it truly compare to ChatGPT? Let's dive into the story behind Claude, the philosophies that shaped it, and what it means for the future of AI. The origins of Anthropic. To understand Claude, you have to understand where it came from. In 2021, a group of researchers left OpenAI, not in anger, but in divergence. They had concerns about the pace of development, safety alignment, and the direction AI was taking. Led by Dario Amodei, former VP of Research at OpenAI, they founded Anthropic. Their mission? To build AI systems that are not only powerful, but steerable, understandable, and aligned with human intentions. Claude is the embodiment of that mission. It's named after Claude Shannon, the father of information theory, a nod to the philosophical and mathematical rigor at its core. What makes Claude different? Claude is a large language model, just like GPT-4. It can write emails, explain code, brainstorm content, and hold natural conversations. But its training and underlying philosophy are distinct. Anthropic uses a method called constitutional AI. Instead of relying solely on human feedback to align the model, they give Claude a set of principles, like a constitution, and train it to follow those principles independently. For example, instead of saying, "Don't say this," Anthropic says, "Here's how a helpful, harmless, and honest assistant behaves." Then, Claude critiques its own outputs based on those values and learns how to improve. This self-critiquing mechanism results in an AI that is remarkably polite, cautious, and less prone to hallucination. Claude versus ChatGPT, head-to-head. Let's compare the two. Tone and personality. ChatGPT is friendly, direct, and sometimes playful. Claude feels more formal, more reflective, like a thoughtful teacher or calm counselor. Refusals. Claude is more likely to politely refuse questions it deems unethical or unclear. ChatGPT might try to answer with disclaimers. Long context handling. Claude 2 and 3 models have been praised for their ability to handle long documents and context windows, especially useful for summarizing, legal analysis, or scientific review. Transparency. Anthropic has been more conservative in releasing Claude to the public, focusing on trust and safety. Meanwhile, ChatGPT is widely accessible, deeply integrated into Microsoft products, and optimized for scale. Famous use cases and partners. Claude has been integrated into platforms like Notion and Cora's Poe. Companies are starting to choose Claude when the task requires careful reasoning, cautious tone, or legal and compliance-heavy environments. For example, a law firm might prefer Claude's tone when analyzing sensitive case data. In contrast, ChatGPT might be chosen for creative ideation, humor, or everyday productivity. The philosophy behind Claude. Dario Amodei and his team at Anthropic believe that future AI systems need to be interpretable and steerable, especially as they become more powerful. Their goal isn't just to make a smarter chatbot. It's to build models that can safely align with human values, even when humans are uncertain. They've published research on scalable oversight, how to train AI to do complex tasks, even when humans can't always verify the answer. This is key to Anthropic's vision. Don't just build AI that performs. Build AI that can explain why it performs that way. OpenAI versus Anthropic, the rivalry. It's impossible to talk about Claude without acknowledging its DNA. Anthropic spun out of OpenAI. In many ways, Claude is the philosophical sibling to ChatGPT, raised in a different household, under a different belief system. Where OpenAI leans into productization, partnerships, and fast iteration, Anthropic moves carefully, with academic precision and a heavy emphasis on safety. Yet both companies are racing toward the same horizon, artificial general intelligence. And both know that safety isn't an afterthought. It's the foundation. Claude 3, the game changer. In early 2024, Anthropic launched Claude 3, a suite of models including Claude 3 Opus. It was the first time Claude truly rivaled, and in some tests, surpassed GPT-4. Benchmarks showed Claude outperforming GPT-4 on certain reasoning and reading comprehension tasks. It handled 100,000-plus token contexts with ease, allowing it to read and summarize entire books. It wasn't just smarter, it was scalable, efficient, and, according to many users, more aligned with human sensibility. This was the moment the world took notice. So which one is better? The truth? It depends. For casual users, ChatGPT is often more accessible and creative. For enterprise applications, Claude may be the safer and more structured option. For researchers, Claude's constitutional training method offers a new way to explore alignment. For developers, both APIs offer different strengths and limits. This isn't a winner-takes-all race. It's the emergence of AI pluralism. Multiple models, multiple values, multiple visions. Why Claude matters. Claude isn't just a competitor. It's a counterpoint. A different voice in the AI conversation. It proves that safety, alignment, and cautious development can still produce cutting-edge results. And it forces us to ask, what kind of AI do we want to build? What values do we encode into our systems? What does intelligence mean when machines are talking back? Claude doesn't shout the answers. It quietly reasons through them with attention, respect, and care. And maybe, in the age of artificial intelligence, that's exactly the kind of intelligence we need more of. The community response. Why people are switching. When Claude 3 launched, the response from the developer and tech community was immediate. Reddit, Hacker News, and X, formerly Twitter, lit up with comparisons. Some users praised Claude for its memory and ability to retain conversational tone. Others noted its smoother handling of complex inputs, especially legal documents, spreadsheets, and dense technical writing. Writers loved its tone. Teachers appreciated its clarity. Knowledge workers praised its ability to pass nuance. A common sentiment echoed, Claude feels more grounded, less like a performer, more like a partner. not better in all things, but different in the ways that mattered to them. This variety is what makes today's AI landscape exciting. Claude's limitations and what Anthropic is doing about them. Claude isn't without flaws. It sometimes overhedges answers, playing it too safe. It's less humorous and occasionally less creative in fiction or storytelling. It can also misunderstand user intent when phrasing is ambiguous, because its politeness sometimes edges into caution. Anthropic has acknowledged this. In their updates, they've focused on improving Claude's clarifying instincts, encouraging it to ask questions rather than just refuse. They've also invested in more robust feedback loops to refine Claude based on human preference, not just safety heuristics. This transparency, coupled with their slow and steady release model, builds trust. Where Claude fits in the AI ecosystem. Think of Claude like a hybrid between a research assistant and a gentle guide. If ChatGPT is the charismatic generalist, Claude is the thoughtful specialist, and that gives it a unique place in the ecosystem. Here's how some use them side by side. Use ChatGPT for creative ideation, scripting, and brainstorming. Use Claude for summarizing PDFs, analyzing contracts, or sensitive customer interaction. Some even call Claude the lawyer and ChatGPT the artist. Both are powerful, but the context determines the best tool. Anthropic's long-term vision. Anthropic isn't chasing product integrations alone. Their focus is on building a research-driven alignment lab, a place where AI safety theory meets real-world application. They publish detailed research papers, open-source tools, and hold internal audits to measure alignment drift. This emphasis on explainability and ethics positions them as not just builders of AI, but stewards of it. Dario Amodei once said, "AI safety isn't a checklist, it's a culture." Claude is the first major expression of that culture. The bigger picture. Zoom out. And Claude represents more than just one company's chatbot. It's part of a movement toward more interpretable, controllable AI. A world where different AIs have personalities, where users choose based on tone, safety, transparency, not just raw power. This opens the door to personalization at scale. Imagine a future where you pick your AI assistant, like you'd pick a therapist, a coach, or a teacher, not just by brand, but by temperament. Claude pushes us toward that vision, one thoughtful conversation at a time. So yes, Claude is a competitor to ChatGPT, but it's also a signal that the AI world is bigger than any one lab, that values matter, that alignment isn't the opposite of innovation. It fuels it, and that sometimes the quietest voice in the room is the one worth listening to, especially when it was trained to listen first.